Yeah. Okay, this is the chapter 10 about the oil, about the lubrication, and how important is in the life of the oil, in the life of the engine, the service on the oil, the service on the coolant, and the analysis of the oil sample, the coolant sample. My recommendation is take a sample once per year minimum, if it's possible, in order to keep the engines well lubricated. What is the most important equipment? What is the most important part in a boat? The engines. No? Engines is the number one. If you don't have engines, you don't have boat. No? No? Oh, it's a sailboat, but you need a small engine. You need a small engine to move the boat in the intercoastal, in the canals, to park the boat. Yeah, you need a small engine. The engine is the life of the boat. What is in your opinion, the second important equipment in a boat after the engine, of course?
Transmission.
Excuse me?
Transmission.
Of course, when I say engine is the combination engine and transmission. What is the other one?
Beer.
Excuse me?
Beer.
Beer. The cooler. The ice. Yeah, for me, yes. Number three, probably. The power, electrical power, the generator. No, the generator is critical. Is very important. I think that today the generator and the solar systems, both of them, they have basically the same level. Because with the solar system, you can convert in AC power, and finally you have AC current in your boat, with both of them. But the generator is another important equipment. And if you check the generator is a gasoline engine or diesel engine with the back end. Other engine, no? Other engine for service. That engine is different? No, it's exactly the same like the propulsion engine. It's exactly the same engine. Yeah? No, it's not. In general, in a medium boat, you have two main engines and two generators, or three in some cases. It's a lot of service on the engine, no? For that reason, I want that you be clear in the analysis of the engines. Okay? In this chapter, we start with the analysis, with the troubleshooting. But let me tell to you something. If you understand the engine, if you understand what happened in each part that you study in the laboratory when you disassemble the engine, you understand the engine. This is the problem, it's blue smoke because this and this at low RPM. If you listen clear the complaint of the customer and you analyze the situation, you don't need a scanner. You only need this. Believe me. And we are going to do that, okay? Starting today. The analysis. What happened in the engine? Where I have excessive amount of chromium in the oil sample. Where can I find chromium? In the valves, in the piston rings, in the crankshaft, in the camshaft. What happened if it's in the valves? What is the symptom? What happened if it's in the crankshaft? What is the symptom? What happened if it's in the cam? What is the symptom? And if it's in the cam, normally what is the code? The OBD2 code. Is the P03113. Oh, that's the code. Yeah, because it's camshaft. If it's in the crank, the code is, yeah? When you understand those three tables, you are a doctor and you can diagnose any engine. Believe me, I receive phone calls every day. Mr. Lopez, it's at high RPM, but in low RPM, the temperature increased. But hey, my friend, can you take a sample of oil today and you send to me the report tomorrow? I receive the report. Hey, my friend, I know what is your problem. Your problem is in the turbo. No, Mr. Lopez. Yeah, but it's in the turbo. Believe me, because I found a lot of phosphorus, a lot of copper. The bearings are destroyed. Can you go with the camera to the turbo? Okay, Mr. Lopez, let me 1 second with the camera. Okay, can you move it the chap of the... Oh, see, a lot of play. Yeah, my friend, that's the problem. What I need, remove the turbo, send to the laboratory, they replace the bearings. 2 days later, come to me, Mr. Lopez, it's great, the temperature is good, I hear the sound is different, I accelerate the engine perfect, wide open throttle, return to idle, no problem, thank you very much. Only with the oil sample, believe me. Okay, the oil sample is the secret, and coolant sample also, right? Great. Okay. You remember when we disassemble the engine, where is located normally the oil pump in diesel engines? In the oil pan is located the strainer. You remember? The strainer. But in some cases, in the majority of the diesel engine, the oil pump is in front.
Yeah.
No? Gear with the crank and gear with the cam. Number one. That oil pump is what type of oil pump is that?
Gear pump.
Is gear pump, gear with gear, no? In some cases it's a crescent pump because it's gear with a crescent, with a half moon to create the pressure in that area. But it's gear with gear. It's a positive displacement pump, the oil pump. In other engines is submerged in the oil pan with the strainer, no? Okay. The oil pump suctions the oil from the oil pan and start the movement of the oil through the cavities in the block and the head. You remember that? Those cavities? Look, the oil start over there, the oil enter here, lubricate the crankshaft. You remember the crankshaft? The cavities on the crankshaft where the oil circulates? When the oil enter in those cavities, what happened with the bearings? You remember? In the crankshaft, the holes, the wheels on the crankshaft, the oil pass over there, and after that enter in the plain bearings because the plain bearings, they have a groove in the middle, and the oil create a film. And this is the film with the pressure, and this is the pressure that you read in the oil pressure gauge. For that reason, normally in your car, in your boat, you need to check the oil pressure gauge periodically. How much should be the pressure in that oil pressure gauge?
30 to 60.
40 to 60, 40 to 80 in some big diesel engines. Yeah, 40 to 60 is a good number. What the critical number is 40. Below of 40, you need to pay attention. Below of 40 is not good. 30 is not good. Normally, when the oil pressure is 30, around 30, what happened with the engine? Normally, in general, shut off. The engine turn off. Why? How the engine turn off when the oil pressure is around 30 psi? Because the oil pressure switch interrupt the current for two elements. One, the priming pump, fuel priming pump, and the solenoid of the fuel injection pump. And the fuel not enter in the fuel injection pump. And what happened? Stop. That's clear? The oil pressure switch interrupt the fuel and turn off the engine. Okay? Where is located that oil pressure? Do you remember in the electrical class? Where is located the oil pressure switch?
Next to the oil filter.
Excuse me?
Next to the oil filter.
No, this is the location. But where is, sorry, yeah.
It's on the bracket.
That's the answer. The electrical connection. Where
It's on the bracket. No.
in that point is installed. But what cable interrupt? What signal interrupt? The purple cable coming out from the run relay, entering in the transfer pump, continue into the fuel injection pump. That cable is interrupted, and you don't have purple. Okay, nice, no? It's simple. What other switch is located in that purple cable to kill the engine, to stop the engine? There are two switches. Oil pressure switch is number one. What is the other one?
Coolant temperature.
Coolant temperature. coolant temperature. And in some marine engines, there is another one. What is the other one?
The exhaust gas?
Exhaust gas temperature switch. Located in the elbow of the exhaust.
Where's the where's the engine cooling switch at?
Engine, excuse me?
The switch for the engine cooling?
In the thermostat houses. In the thermostat house. Good? Until this point is clear?
That's measuring the temperature of the raw water, right?
No, the temperature of the coolant.
Okay.
Coolant temperature sensor. Yeah? CTS. Coolant temperature sensor. Raw water no. Okay. Alright, the oil is suction because the oil pump, the oil pass through the filter, and after the filter enter in the cavities of the crankshaft and lubricate the crankshaft bearings. How many type of bearings are in the crankshaft?
The main journals or?
The main journals and the cramping. You remember? And what type of bearings are those bearings? Plain bearings. And you remember that in some of the journals, one bearing is double function for axial and radial.
Do the main bearings, the main journals get lubed up as well or no?
Yeah,
Yeah?
exactly the same. You lubricate all of those bearings.
So you said below 30, it'll shut off the engine.
Yeah.
So at what point would you hear knocking if the journals or the bearings on the journals were worn down and the oil pressure was lower? Would you be able to hear knocking by that point or no?
Oh, correct. That's good. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the question. When the pressure is going down in 35, it starts to knock, and this is an indication. Oh, thank you for that question. When you have a knock sensor activated, my friend, this is the first announcement of a catastrophic situation. If you have a knock sensor activated and the display says knock sensor, oh my friend, this is critical. Number one, check the oil pressure. Oh, the oil pressure is a little lower, but it's okay. No, my friend, it's a little lower. Yes, because normally it's here in 45, 50, and now it's 35, but it's running. No, it's not good. For that reason, it's knocking. Okay, what about the temperature gauge? It's a little higher. That's the second announcement. Okay, my recommendation, in that moment, stop the engine. And after that, what?
What is it?
You have a little low oil pressure and a little high temperature. After that,
Milk.
check your oil. Check your oil. This is the first good recommendation. Normally, suppose that you are in the middle of the ocean. In the middle of the ocean. I clean the oil here. I put a lot of oil here with the dipstick. In this napkins. Okay? And I put the napkins to the sun outside. And after that, I check. Oh, yeah. A lot of copper because it's gold. Oh, a lot of, let me bring a magnet. Oh yeah, a lot of pieces of iron. Yeah, only with, you don't need send to the laboratory. This is white, it's aluminum. A lot of aluminum. No, in the oil when it's dry. Yeah, I have a lot of metal dispersed. I need to stop immediately. I need to stop. For that reason, I have low oil pressure, a little high temperature. This is a bad situation. This is a bad situation, my friends. This is the worst scenario. Yes, when the pressure is going close to 35, start knocking. And knocking is a catastrophic alarm. You need to turn off immediately. All right, good. Thank you for the question. The oil passed through the bearings of the crankshaft, and then, oh yeah, sorry.
What is knocking? Is it piston that's knocking, or what's
No, it's not the piston. Once again, the lubrication in between This is This is the film of oil in between the bearing and the crankshaft. It's because there are too much play in the crankshaft. But thank you for the question. Let me explain something. You remember that you have the crankshaft in the bottom, no? And a little higher the camshaft. In both of them, you have plain bearings lubricated. You remember? You remember when you remove the camshaft, you take care about the movement in order to avoid damage those bearings. You remember those bearings? Okay, you have plain bearings in crankshaft and camshaft, in both of them. And normally you have two knock sensors. One knock sensor on the block in front of the crankshaft, in front of the journals, and other knock sensor in front of the cam to sense the noise in both of them, in crank and cam. Two knock sensor. For that reason, when you connect the scanner, they said knocking in a knock sensor number 1 or knock sensor number 2. Yeah, depending how many knock sensors. There are other diesel engines with a knock sensor in the transmission. To verify where the bearings are damaged in the transmission, because this is another possibility. You remember when the people hit the propeller with the ground? What happened? The blade of the propeller is bended, and you damage the bearings. And there is another sensor on the transmission. Good? That's the answer?
Yeah, I asked because like a couple years ago, my car, my piston was actually...
Oh yeah, on the piston is another possibility, but we are going to talk later about that. It's another possibility. But this is when the piston rings are broken. Let me 1 second. Okay, good.
Will the sensor just present an alarm, or will it kill it?
No, only the alarm, not kill the engine. And you have, some people say, oh, I have 6 months ago that code, and I am running. That's not good. You need to stop immediately. My friend, when you have a check engine light activated, try to connect the scanner to investigate where is the problem. Later, in the next week, we are going to talk about those codes, and we are going to analyze code by code. Normally, when you connect the scanner says which sensor detect the problem. But this is not an indication that the problem is that sensor. Normally they say throttle position sensor detect. Oh, I am going to replace the throttle. No, my friend. The throttle position sensor detects a problem. This is why I replaced that sensor 5 times and the problem continues. Yeah, because the problem is not the sensor. The sensor detects a problem over there. Oh, knock sensor. Oh, replace the sensor. No, papi. No. Okay, replace the sensor. I want to see. Okay, start the engine. Oh, the problem continues. Because it's not the sensor. Where is located that sensor? It's in front of the crankshaft. Okay. You have problem on the bearings. No. Okay. You have problem on the bearings. Can I check your oil? Yeah, you have metal dispersed over there. The babbitt is gone. No? That's the problem. Okay. The oil pass for the crankshaft, for the cavities of the crankshaft, lubricate the bearings. The oil continue a little higher in the cavities, in the bearings of the camshaft. The oil continue through the block and reach the top where the rocker arms are located. Lubricate the movement of the rocker arms. You remember? Lubricate all of that rail. Lubricate the springs, everything, and go down for gravity into the oil pan. That's the path. Once again, start on the oil pan, pass through the oil filter. After the oil filter, enter in the bearings of the crankshaft. After that, continue into the bearings of the cam. And after that, continue up until the rocker arms. Lubricate that mechanism, the rocker arms, open and close the valve, and go down for gravity. Remember that in that area, this is the area where you open the cap of the valve cover and you added oil. And the oil goes for gravity directly into the oil pan. Good? Difficult, the path of the oil? No, it's simple.
What would happen if you put too much oil?
Really nothing. It's not recommended. Let me explain in 2 minutes why it's not recommended. But really nothing. Not too much. A little, no problem. Okay? Or let me explain right now. When the crankshaft is moving, when the journals, when the crampings of the crankshaft go down, touch the oil in the oil pan. You remember? When the crankshaft touched that oil, what happened with the oil? Splash. No? And that splash oil lubricate the bottom of the cylinder liners. You remember? The bottom of the cylinder liners. Additionally, in front of each cylinder liner, you have what?
Jets.
Oil jets. But that oil lubricate, this is the piston, you have 3 piston compressions and 1 oil controller. The oil enter here and return. The oil never pass over there because the compression rings, close, seal, and the oil return. That's clear? For that reason, if you have high level of oil in the oil pan, you have too much splash of oil. That's not good. That's not good. It's not bad, but for that reason, the recommendation is until that point with the dipstick. No more. If not, you have excessive lubrication and probably the oil controller ring is not enough and the oil pass in the combustion chamber and you have blow by. Ah! Good.
So if you have too much oil, you wouldn't have smoke. So,
Not necessary. Not necessary because the oil controller rings control the return of the oil. Let me finish with that misconception, my friends. When you have blue smoke, right now we are ready to analyze what happened when we have blue smoke. Blue smoke is because what? Oil entering in the combustion chamber. Okay. Possibilities for oil entering in the combustion chamber.
The valve seals?
You remember the valves and the seals? The blue seals or orange seals? Those seals are damaged, too much play, and the oil enter and penetrate the combustion chamber. Number 1, to the valves. Okay, that's the most common. Number 2, possibilities for oil entering in the combustion chamber.
The compression rings and the oil control?
The rings, in my opinion, is the less. Because you remember, you have 2 or 3 compression rings and the oil controller. Okay, if all of them are broken, the oil pass, yes. But it's not easy, no?
And you don't have a compression, right?
Exactly. In order to eliminate that possibility, you check the compression of the engine. Oh, okay, I have good compression in all the cylinders. I have good compression. It's possible that the oil is passing in the combustion chamber for the rings?
No.
If the compression is good? No. 100% sure is for the seals of the valves. 100% sure. That's good.
Crack in a cylinder.
Okay. Other possibility is I have a crack in the cylinder, in the head, in the head valves. It's possible that the oil entered over there because I have a crack on the head.
Yeah.
You do compression though. There's a crack in the head.
It's possible, yeah, because you remember that the oil passed from the block, entered on the head, and returned to the block, no? The oil is circulating. Yeah, it's possible, a crack on the head.
But it's not common, right?
What about contaminated fuel?
Excuse me?
What about contaminated fuel?
Okay, contaminated with what?
Oil.
With oil, is possible? Where the fuel could be contaminated with oil. It's possible?
No, unless you put it in the fuel tank.
Excuse me?
it is under your trainer.
Where I am.
The fuel contaminated with oil. Excuse me.
No.
Not the oil contaminated with fuel. The fuel contaminated with oil. Where is possible? Fuel with oil. In what part of the engine? Because you know the engine. Tell to me where exactly where you think that is possible that the fuel absorb a little amount of oil and is contaminated with oil. Why? Because some stupid put the oil on the fuel tank. But this is not a. This is not. Yeah, it's possible. Excuse me.
Now, what if you have, because I've seen this, in the, where the fuel injector is, you have oil right around there. How would there be oil getting to that fuel injector
No,
spot?
that's not possible.
Oh, I've seen it. Like,
In the fuel injector, in the cavity of the fuel injector,
yeah, like
oil.
where the oil injector is, I mean, where the
There's a O-ring broken
Nah. What O-ring?
on top of the filter. The
But in that area, you don't have oil moving
But how could there be,
no,
if there is?
in the head you do though.
on the head.
Like if
No,
you-
let me explain why not. Let me explain why not. Because the injector, look, this is the head, but thank you for that interesting analysis. This is the cavity on the head for the injector, okay? And this is the injector. That's the injector. Normally, the injector have a special washer over there, and the injector have a bracket, and the bracket enter here and is bolted here with a bolt, and the bolt enter here in order to keep the injector down. Okay, you say, Mr. Lopez, what happens if I have a lot of oil here, here, here? The oil enter? No, because this area, normally, you remember when you install the injectors, a lot of grease, you remember? A lot of grease here. That area is practically sealed. I never, in my 35 years of experience with those engines, see that the oil penetrate to the injector.
Unless you change again. Then again.
What about the fuel return line?
Excuse me?
What about the return line?
The return line, look at this. This is the supply line. I love it, the glass like this, because this is the only way to understand. This is coming from the fuel injection pump. Yeah? This is fuel coming, fuel coming in. And this one is the return. This is the return. Okay, in the return goes directly into the fuel tank. Into the fuel tank. No. Normally, the fuel is contaminated with water. That's it. No with oil. Okay? No, it's not common.
So if you have oil around your injectors, what could be causing oil to be around?
No,
your
the
injector?
oil, it's impossible that the oil penetrates here.
No, but like, let's say you have oil around your injector, what could cause?
Oh, it's because in the lubrication, in the rocker arms, too much oil is splashed over there in that area. That's normal. Now we are going to start again that engine, and we are going to analyze. Oh, this is the injector, and the oil is splashed here, surrounded the injector, but that oil never penetrates the combustion chamber because the injector enter with practically zero tolerance in that hole, and additionally is tight. That's not possible. Believe me. And additionally, the body of the injector have 3 O-rings. You remember the O-rings when you remove the injector? I say to you, be careful with those O-rings and plastic washers. You remember? One in the bottom and other on top. It's impossible that the oil enter over there. And the injector never is moved. The injector is on place for 10 years, 20 years. Yeah, create a lot of dirt allowed. It's not possible that the oil penetrate. All right? Normally, you have oil in the combustion chamber through the valves, or because a crack on the head, or because a head gasket broken. You remember? That's the possibility for oil. Okay, the last one is on the piston rings, because all the piston rings are broken and the oil pass. That's true. And some people say, Mr. Lopez, what about if the cylinder liner is cracked? You remember, we removed the cylinder liners. The cylinder liner is surrounded by coolant, no oil. No? You remember? The cylinder liner is surrounded by coolant, no oil. In that case, the number one possibility for oil in the combustion chamber are the valves. The valves. Okay? 95% of the problems related with blue smoke can be related with problems with the valves and can be solved on the valves. Okay, there is another possibility that we are going to study later with more details. Is on the turbo. On the turbo. You remember how the turbo works, my friends?
Yeah.
In one side of the turbo, this is the turbo. We have a one. You enjoyed the class today, my friends?
Yes.
Always.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it because I put a lot of effort in this class. And this is the other turbine. You remember? And this one, and you have seals. That's the turbo. And you have this element here. With a couple of bearings here, copper bearings here, copper bearings here, and after the copper bearings they have seals, hydraulic seals here in between the turbine. Okay, what is the cold side and what is the hot?
Cold is on the right.
This is cold, and this is hot. And here is located what? The exhaust manifold. You remember? The exhaust manifold, the gases enter here, and here is located what? Exhaust pipe, no? This is the elbow, and here is located, what sensor is located?
Where's your raw water
Exhaust gas temperature sensor is located. Excuse me?
mix? Where's your raw water mix when you have
Oh,
turbos?
here, in this point. In this point, this is the exhaust manifold, and the raw water enter here. You remember the feeding for the heat exchanger? Okay, this is the turbo. Pay attention. The turbo receive oil. The turbo receive oil. Follow me, my friend. If you understand the engine here, that's simple. This is oil coming from the engine at high pressure. The oil enter here, lubricate the bearings, but the oil no pass here and no pass here because you have two seals, no? Two hydraulic seals. All right, the oil lubricate that area, the shaft, the bearings, and the oil return here, where? Through the oil pan of the engine, return to the oil pan. I have a question, Mr. Lopez. What is this element, my friends?
Air filter.
That's the air filter. You remember? The air, and here, what happened over there, here, and here? What is this?
Intake mine.
air at high pressure, no? Okay, the air enter over there, air at atmospheric pressure. The air is compressed here in the compressor, and the air is sent at high pressure into the intake manifold.
Or if you have an air cooler.
Excuse me?
If you have the air
You have the air cooler, and after that the intake manifold. That's the turbo. Hey, Mr. Lopez, I have a question. Is possible that that seal be broken?
Yes.
The oil pass here. Look at this. I have oil. Sorry. I have a oil here. Dripping oil here. And when the air enter, the oil with
And that could clog the air filter?
no, the oil here penetrate here, and the air coming from the atmosphere is pressurized with the turbine, with the oil, and enter in the combustion chamber air with oil. Because that seal in the turbo is damaged. Wow, the turbo is the other possibility. The turbo is a big problem, not only for oil. Later we are going to study other situations that can be affected if the turbo is damaged. But in this particular case, that seal in the cold side could be damaged, broken, leak oil in the compressor, compress the air with oil, and the air with oil enter in the combustion chamber, and you have blue smoke. Okay, good? Excuse me, I have a question. What happens if that seal is broken? The seal in the hot side. What is the symptom?
Oil in your exhaust.
No, it's
You check outside of your boat and you see a lot of oil. This is a seal on the turbo damage. That seal, the seal in the hot side, is simple, my friend. If you check through this hole, the turbine is impregnated with oil. If the seal damage is in the cold side, when you remove the air filter and you see the turbine, in the cold side is impregnated with oil, indicating that those seals are damaged. Excuse me, you remember when we visit Detroit Diesel? You remember the guy in the shop for turbos? All of those companies, Detroit Diesel, Caterpillar, RPM Diesel, MAN, all of them, they have a laboratory to repair injectors and fuel injection pumps and turbos for the customers. You can go to any of those and they repair your turbo. They change the bearings and they change the seals. That's it. Okay, now.
Could your air filter get oil in it the same way?
No. In this moment, no, because that one, how is the pressure here?
Yeah, sucking.
Suction. You suction air, no oil.
But have you ever seen oil in
No, in the filter, no. No, because the oil, the air enter, no goes out.
Where's the reload layer?
Okay, this is a supercharger. We are going to study later. My engine doesn't have turbo. My engine have a blower or supercharger. That's different. Okay?
Can you replace those seals yourself, or do you have to send off the turbo to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can replace them yourself, or do you
No,
have to send
no. You need send to the laboratory. No. By yourself it's impossible. You don't have the tools. You need a hydraulic. No, you need more than tools, a lot of experience. 100% sure that if you disassemble the turbo, you destroy the tools. I don't have experience with turbo. I don't have experience repairing fuel injection pumps. No, I send to the laboratory. Always, for years.
Mr. Lopez, how to distinguish, when you have it through the exhaust, you have in the water.
You have oil in the water.
I know, but how you distinguish oil
Or fuel?
Or fuel.
Okay.
Because you have
It's confused. The color is similar, and you see oily area, and it's pretty similar, basically equal. Yeah. For me, it's impossible. The different. Oh, it's coolant or is fuel or is oil. I need check the turbo, the turbine in this side. Oh, it's full of oil. Oh yeah, it's motor oil. That's for oil. Okay, let me check if it's fuel. If it's fuel over there. I need check the fuel cooler. I'm going to explain later. And if it's the other one, the other possibility is oil, fuel, or coolant. No, I need check the coolant pump. But later I am going to explain how to determine if it's this or this or this. Right now could be oil because it's here and I see the turbine. Full of oil, impregnated with oil.
How should you get coolant in the exhaust?
Yeah, no, 1 second. All right. Okay, good. Until this point, my friends. Okay. Once again, the path of the oil finish on top, and the oil return for gravity into the oil pan.
If you need a way to determine it, and you have a lot, put an oil diaper in the water, and if it sucks it all up, it's oil. It doesn't suck it up.
Yeah, this is another one. Thank you.
An oil
Oil
diaper?
diaper, in the water you have your pool or whatever it is.
The oil absorbers.
Put an oil absorber in there, or oil diaper, and if it's oil, you pull it out, then it'll be gone. If it's fuel, you pull it out.
That's correct.
Or
This
if
is
it's coolant,
this is another way. This is another way.
And
Thank you.
what about the joystick? Doesn't do anything.
What?
You know, the joystick.
Okay, that's clear. The path of the oil, and how can I determine if I have what type of element is outside, oil or coolant? Yeah, that's good with the type. Right. Okay, my friends. Once again, the secret is check periodically the oil pressure gauge. If the oil pressure gauge goes down suddenly, you need check what happened. Number one is check the condition of the oil, the color of the oil. That's the number one. The level, but the level is not an indication. Oh, I have low oil pressure because the level of the oil is a little low. That's true? Now, I have high oil pressure suddenly is because the level of oil in the dipstick is a little higher. No. Okay, let me ask to you. How can I get suddenly in the oil pressure gauge high pressure?
Clog.
Excuse me?
Clog.
Clog it. That's very common. Clog it. Alright? The system is clogged. You remember that we analyzed with a wire when we remove the crankshaft, we pass the wire and we check those cavities, and the cavities in the block are exactly the same. It's small cavities. It's easy clogged those cavities of oil, no? What is the element that clogged easily those cavities? The additives. Because the additives are gel. And the gel at low temperature is gel and clogged. No? That's not good. And another enemy is bad service. Change the oil in longer intervals. No? You need to change the oil according with the intervals recommended by the manufacturer, or a little less if it's possible.
What are the additives supposed to do for the oil?
Oh, the additives is supposed that they increase the viscosity. More. The people normally say, oh, I have low oil pressure in my engine. I am going to solve it easily. I am going to add it, an additive, and let me add the additive. Oh yeah, increase. Okay. Okay, we are going to wait how many hours the pressure stay in the new number. 40. Okay. Can you call to me tomorrow morning? Hey, Mr. Lopez, once again it's down. Yeah. This is a Mickey Mouse solution. This is a temporary solution. The gel. And now you introduce other problems, because if you check in the oil pan, you have a lot of yeah. That's not good. Like,
So in that case, it just settled, it will just separate from the oil additives.
I don't recommend oil additives under any condition in oil. In fuel, yes. In fuel, yes, but in oil, no.
what would be the process? Let's say you suck in, let's say fresh water. Through the exhaust, you suck in water and then it stops your engine. How would you? Because you gotta flush the engine oil now, right? Because you sucked in water.
Okay, you say I checked the dipstick and I found that milky oil. Okay, all right. That's the next part of the class. Thank you. Okay, I check my dipstick, and my oil is milky. How many possibilities for milky oil you have?
Coolant. Mixed with coolant.
Milk with coolant or with salt water. Ah, okay, all right. Let me tell you something. When the oil is milky, is mixed with the coolant, of course the oil becomes white color because it's mixed with coolant. Excuse me. The engine continue running with the milky oil?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. What about the oil pressure on the gauge? It is with coolant. What about the oil pressure?
It's wrong.
Decrease a lot or a little?
A little.
A little. And the engine continue running. This is not good. For that reason, the people say, no, it's a little, decrease a little. It's milky, but it's running good. Okay, my friend. Why, if it's with coolant, it's not catastrophic at the first moment? Why it's not catastrophic?
Coolant have additives.
Correct, because coolant have additives to improve the lubricity of the coolant. That's number one, thank you. A lot of additives in the coolant, correct? All right. What happens if it's not coolant? Now we are going to analyze where it's possible that the coolant be mixed with the oil. If not, it's because it's salt water mixed with oil. Yes or no?
Well,
Excuse me. When you check the dipstick and you check the oil, and the oil is mixed with coolant, what is the color?
Brownish.
It's white, milky, no? White color. When you check the dipstick and the oil is mixed with salt water, what is the color? It's brown. And the odor is not good. When it's mixed with coolant, the odor is not bad. All right? One tip. Okay, we're going to analyze this one. Oil mixed with salt water. Where is possible that the oil be mixed with salt water?
The elbow. Right.
Oil with salt water in the elbow of the exhaust? Ah!
Heat exchanger.
No. Other one. Excuse me?
Heat exchanger.
In the oil cooler.
Yeah.
This is the heat exchanger for oil, for motor oil. Ah, okay. You remember that there are like six heat exchangers, no? One for motor oil, other for transmission oil, fuel, other one for, excuse me,
Hydraulics.
coolant, other one for air,
Fuel.
other one for fuel, yeah, and other one for probably power steering fluid, hydraulic fluid. It's like six coolers. Okay, if the oil cooler, the cooler for the motor oil internally is cracked, what happened?
Salt water absorbs the oil.
When the oil circulates internally in the oil cooler, the oil absorb salt water, and the oil with salt water circulate through the block and the head. And for that reason right now I have milky oil with salt water. Okay, what happens if the oil is mixed with salt water with the oil pressure?
It rises.
Excuse me?
It rises.
Decrease a little or a lot?
a lot.
Oil mixed with salt water. The oil pressure go down a lot, and the engine probably shut down. The oil pressure goes down. Excuse me, my friend. What is the main component of salt water? You remember? What is the formula for salt?
Sodium.
What is the formula for salt?
Natric chloride.
Salt is
Natric chloride.
sodium and
Chloride.
chlorine. What other ingredients have a salt water? You remember? Calcium, sodium, and a lot of minerals, dispersed metals, no? Alright. What do you think happened internally in the engine if the oil is mixed with salt water? What happened with the babbitt on the bearings of the crankshaft and camshaft?
Corroded.
Deteriorate quickly.
The babbitt disappears, it's gone. No? Because it's a lot of sand. Oh, we have a silica. Silica! What is silica? Sand. Silica. What happened with that soft metal? And, hey my friend, I have milky oil, the oil pressure goes down, and I have additionally other sensor activated. Nothing. Salt water is not coolant. It's not coolant. That's the difference, no? And additionally, if I take a sample of oil, a sample of coolant, I found that a lot of calcium, a lot of phosphorus, potassium in the sample of coolant, indicating that it's gone. Okay, good. You like it?
What's the contamination in the engine oil? Could that potentially seize a piston if the jet was,
In the piston?
yeah, could it seize the piston?
Wait a little. Give me 5 minutes.
You wouldn't be able to get water into the oil from the exhaust, right?
No.
It's
No.
only from the
No.
oil cooler?
From the oil cooler. That's the only possibility. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is oil mixed with salt water. Okay, my friend. What happens if the oil is mixed with coolant? Where could be coming that mixture in between oil and coolant? Where the oil can be mixed with coolant?
The liner.
Excuse me?
The liner.
Excuse me?
Cylinder liner seals at the bottom.
Yeah, on the liners is possible. You remember the liners are surrounded by coolant. If the liner is cracked, the coolant enter, no? Or if the O-rings in the bottom of the liner are broken, the oil is mixed with coolant. That's clear, no? You remember the liner, my friends? With the 3 O-rings. This is the cylinder liner. You remember that?
Yeah.
1 O-ring on top, 1 O-ring on top, other O-ring in the middle, and other O-ring in the bottom, no? This and this are to control, and this one to control oil, because here is the oil pan. Yes or not? Okay. What happens if those O-rings are broken? The coolant surrounded here, that's coolant. The coolant drops with the oil, and now the oil is mixed with coolant. That's number 1.
Would they all have to be damaged for the coolant fuel to get into the oil pan?
Yeah. Okay. Because those O-rings, number 1, other possibility for coolant mixed with oil. The head gasket and crack on the head also. Other possibility for coolant mixed with oil. It's over there, basically. Those 3 situations. On the cylinder liner, on the head, and on the head gasket.
If you have all 3 mixed oil, coolant, oil, and water, that's because those coolers are broken, the internal, and like all the coolers.
Yeah, it's possible, but normally it's this or this. No, both at the same time. It's or is coolant or is salt water. Okay, finito. Can I know? How can I know if it's coolant or salt water? Checking by the color, by the. If it's with coolant, continue like oil. If it's with salt water, It's not oil. It's not oil.
Oh, you said salt water, you're gonna have the knock sensor will come on?
Then yeah, in both scenarios, the knock sensor will be activated, but faster with salt water.
Okay.
Faster with salt water, and faster the metal, the white metal, the babbitt disappear if it's mixed with salt water. Okay, great until this point. And okay, pay attention.
Coolant mixed with salt water, would that turn on the knock?
No,
sensor?
coolant mixed
Yeah.
with salt water, no. Okay, excuse me. One second. This is possible. Where could be the coolant mixed with salt water? Excuse me? The heat exchanger. You remember the heat exchanger? The heat exchanger, the coolant, and the salt water pass in the middle. If internally is cracked, the coolant is mixed with salt water. How you know that the coolant is mixed with salt water easily? You remember that you have the heat exchanger with the expansion tank and the cap, the radiator cap over there. You remember that? And the radiator cap have a small fitting connected with the coolant reservoir. It's plastic. You remember that one? Okay. The coolant reservoir normally in your boat or in your car is with green coolant or orange coolant. No? Yes or no? Okay. Always, you open the hood in your car and you see the coolant green over there, or orange. Okay. In your boat the same. You open the hatch and you see both coolant reservoirs, orange and orange. What happens if suddenly that reservoir, the color changed to brown or black? It's mixed with salt water. And additionally, when you remove the cap of the reservoir, you have a lot of calcium, white powder in the cap. This is an indication that the coolant is mixed with salt water.
Why does it?
Later we are going to talk about that in the next chapter.
Why does it turn brown? Is it just because of heat?
Yes, it's because the minerals on the salt water. Yeah, in the next chapter we are going to talk about that.
Why
Okay.
could the heat exchanger break? How could it break?
Let me later in the shop I showed to you. It's in the welding areas. It's where the pipes are welded with the baffles. In that area, the soldering is eroded.
So that would be from impact, right? That would be from.
Excuse me?
That would be from impact. That would be from either rubber.
In some cases, it is steel. Yes. All right. Good. Until this point, you need a short pee break. Okay, short pee break.